Hi everyone, my name is Chris Bowen with Microsoft here in the Northeast, and I speak with professional developers and companies about developer tools, technologies, and platforms, the New England, upstate New York area. Just want to take a quick time here to go through our view of the cloud and Windows Azure in particular. So I have 4 slides that are much too pretty to be anything that I could put together, and just a few minutes to talk about this. If you have any questions, just reach out to me and connect at this event. I'd be happy to talk in more detail. But let's start by beginning. Hopefully this will look okay. We have an overall view of the cloud and your applications. It's called this 3 screens in a cloud metaphor. And the idea is that you can have applications deployed to a wide variety of devices, from desktop, laptop systems, to phones, to smart media TVs, or even consoles like the Xbox, and a wide variety to make applications, a wide variety of ways to make applications for them. Now this could be server-hosted technologies, traditional kind of things like SharePoint server, SQL Server, on-premise kind of installed server applications, and also cloud-based or platform as a service or infrastructure as a service applications. So we have things like Windows Azure, which is part of that, as platform as a service, and I'll talk about it in a little bit more detail in a second. But these all fold together to give you choices amongst how you deploy applications to these wide variety of systems. So let's take a look at how we do the cloud. This is much too slow to build. So it comes down to really the fundamentals. We want to solve and offer a way to satisfy the fundamentals of application ownership. And you can see these are here, from being able to scale quickly to high availability and fault tolerance, multi-tenancy. All these are concerns that we have with any application. And also, the cloud really factors into the equation to give you choices, either from a sliding scale or a binary choice between a larger list of choices that you may have facing your own infrastructure, your own capabilities, your own ability to scale up with various certain applications. So from going to on-premise, off-premise, capital expenditures for your own on-premise servers, or just operational. And these are all factored into your choice of how you use the cloud versus on-premise applications as well. And so Azure folds into this in this way. So the Azure platform is really part of that, and it focuses on giving you those choices in the cloud and letting you rely on Microsoft to give you a platform as a service infrastructure to quickly scale out and deploy an application in a way that lets you focus on the interesting thing, right? Writing an application. Write it well, make it work well, and then let Azure take care of the scalability. Put it out there, get the instant capability to ramp up or down. It's important to talk about that as well, as you need. And so there's a wide variety of things that factor into this, but I'll quickly go through them at the bottom here. Windows Azure, at its base, talks about having computational capabilities, so you can put your application out in the cloud, have what are called a number of instances hosting those applications. And what's really important to know about this is that you can really essentially dial a knob and say how much scalability you need, from one instance to many, many. And it's up to you to say, well, at this point, we only need a little bit of scalability, and let's have a few instances, but then let's put out a big Super Bowl ad or something like that, and then we're going to need a lot of capability. But we don't have the interest or capability or the money to scale up to handle that. Let's go to the cloud, and we'll turn that knob up to whatever we need, and then when that initial effect of the ad goes away, maybe dial it down a bit. It's something really easy to do with Windows Azure. And there's other things as well that fold into this, from storage, being able to store things within Windows Azure in a scalable way for your applications, and also to manage those things. What's going on? How is the application behaving? Do you need to adjust the settings and maybe use more instances? And that's all built into Azure as well. Now, if you need relational storage capabilities, we have essentially a SQL Server version called SQL Azure that will live in the cloud and gives your applications a chance to plug in to the cloud as well for their storage needs. And then also for connectivity and for access control, we have what's called the App Fabric. And this is an optional thing that you can plug into as well to help you connect maybe to your own applications or to other applications, other companies, other web services, and things like that, in a way that you define the rules for. You can say, well, an employee from our trading partner company is going to have the access to do the following things. And as an application developer, you don't need to worry about that as much. That's more of a policy that you can set up in Azure, and the rest will just work. So these things all really roll together to give you a platform for your apps in the cloud. I'm sorry, I didn't look at the time when we were, so how much time we have. To give you options in the cloud that will, I should be very clear about this. This is not an all or nothing proposition. You can use Azure a little bit. You can put one service out there. You can put some storage, some data out there, and you can use those from an on-premise application, or you can put everything up there. It's entirely up to you. It goes back to those decisions that you had before about, are you looking for scalability? Are you looking for whatever of those decision criteria you're looking for? It's up to you. And so you can put a little bit or a lot out in the cloud. Again, dial up those instances as you need. So this kind of goes to this illustration here. I'll just show you the whole thing working. But the cloud really is Windows Azure. And I think, I forget who mentioned it before, but earlier we mentioned all those thousands of machines that are being backed up and installed to give you a whole data center. That's what we're doing for you. So we have these really large data centers that are already configured to host your applications as part of Windows Azure. You deploy your app up to the cloud in Windows Azure, tell it how many instances you want, and we'll provision all those machines for you automatically. We'll take care of installing the operating system, updating it, patching it, making sure it's secure, take care of the networking, fault tolerance. If a hard drive fails, we'll detect that, we'll fail your instance over to another one, all with you just letting you focus on the application. So that's really the benefit that we're offering with Azure. And this ties into all the other things that I mentioned before in terms of relational data with SQL Azure, things like connectivity and security with the app fabric, and then also just being able to call out to other third parties as well, in however you need to from or to the cloud. Thank you very much. And so where can you go to get more? You go to azure.com. I really recommend that you just go there. There's a lot of case studies to take a look at there to give you an idea of how customers are being successful today by looking to Azure and complementing what they're doing on-premise with some on-cloud, in the cloud applications as well. And also msdn.com/Azure gives you the tools that you need to get up to speed on working with Azure as a developer. And with that, this is me. So if any more questions, we have 10 seconds.
Thank you, Chris. One
Thank
question?
You. Yes.
Scaling not automatic?
It can be automatic, yes. It's something you can tie into as a developer, or you can do it through configuration. There's a wide variety of options. I can talk to you about that as we need to.
Okay.
Great.
Thank you, Chris.
Thank you.